At behind me, you can see my alma mater, the James Moser Elementary School, number 144. Well, James Moser is located at 2400 Moser Street. It was developed in 1923 and built in 1933. It was built in an era of segregation and was originally designated as a white school. In the 1950s, the school officials were so stunned by the pace of racial change in West Baltimore that it presented a problem for the school board. So 144 had a turnover from white and over to overwhelmingly black. And it happened so fast that it posed a tremendous overcrowding problem. So in 1954, immediately following the Supreme Court's ruling that school segregation was unconstitutional, Baltimore's public school system became the first formerly segregated major urban system to adopt a desegregation policy. Soon, around 1955, as much needed addition was added along Moser Street, that was completed. By then, the school's enrollment had surpassed 900, up from less than 400 just a few years earlier. By the way, the school was named after Colonel James Moser, who was a Baltimorean, and he served in the Revolutionary War. But his most notable feat was he was the bricklayer for the courthouse that we know today as the Clarence Mitchell Courthouse. So little known fact. So after the school was designated, two new schools were slated for construction nearby. In 1960, Calverton Junior High School was built, and in 1963, Lafayette Elementary School was built. It closed in 2003, but reopened as Empowerment Academy, and which was a public charter school. Then in 1959, a group of 5 men began to meet and exchange ideas concerning the social and personal problems of the youth in the city of Baltimore. They believed that a sports program would benefit the youth as well as the community. It would help decrease juvenile delinquency, create positive influences in the lives of the participants, and promote good sportsmanship, with an attempt to garner support from interest in from the neighbors and the community. So the group's membership grew to 19, and even a woman joined. Well, the plans for the Little League baseball team started in August 1959. And in 1960, James Moser Baseball began. Originally started as a 16 league with 18 boys on each team, without any sponsors or where the money was going to come from. The 5 founders relied on faith, which allowed them to acquire uniforms and equipment. In the first championship game, the Cubs managed to defeat the Athletics. And in 1962, 2 more teams were added, the Tigers and the Orioles, which made the league have 2 divisions. The Athletics, Pirates, Tigers, and Yankees were Division 1, and the Braves, Cubs, Dodgers, and Orioles were Division 2. Now, in 1962, the season was over 100. We had 162 boys playing a total of 40 games. And then in 1962, also, they created a basketball league to help keep the boys occupied while they weren't in the baseball season. So, but it's speculated that the basketball team ended around 1966. But the baseball team continued to expand, adding the Beavers in 1963 and the Jets in 1964, which increased the total games per season to 60. Over the years, even girls were allowed to participate. Well, recently, T-ball divisions have been formed for girls and boys, and the league now includes an instructional division for boys and girls. The league has 19 teams for boys and girls ages 4 through 15. And the season begins in April after the draft. It continues through July. And many participants have played in postseason tournaments throughout the state, as well as the Cal Ripken World Series competition. Now, just to mention that in 2017, three Baltimore legends, Orioles Brooks Robinson, Eddie Murray, Cal Ripken Jr., along with heavy hitters like the former mayor Catherine Pugh and former city council president Jack Young, joined with BGE CEO Calvin Butler to break ground on the $1.2 million youth development park. There was a need for change, and baseball was the vehicle. I'm going to turn it over to Party Marty, who's on the baseball field, to give us some more insight into the history of the baseball team here at James Mosher Elementary.
Hey, I'm in there. Hey, this is Party Marty reporting for Gina's live podcast of Did You Know? Right now, we're sitting around. Say hey to my buddy Tony. Tony, say hey to everybody.
How you doing, everybody?
Coming out here to support us. We'll be talking more about that. This is James Mosher, my alma mater, my Little League organization, the oldest surviving Black Little League in the country. You hear me? Let me get to you again. Gina Lee is reporting on the oldest surviving Black Little League in the country. This is $1 million field. James Mosher was established, the Little League was established in 1960. This is what we do. When you start talking about history, I was the coach of the Cubs, which I just found out because of Gina, was the original team. Wow, what a lot of information and knowledge that this historian gives us. But James Mosher Field right here is something that they did just to keep kids off the street. But what it did for me was it grew me up. What it did for me was it molded me to be the man that I am today. What it did to me was it taught me something. I want to shout out my coach, Delmar Harrod. I was on the Cardinals. When I came up, I started on the Beavers. I was on the bench. They put me on the bench. I was playing in the dirt one day. Me and Dickie, Mark Myers, playing in the dirt. Mr. Rod came by the field and said, up at Easterwood, and said, hey, I need 2 players. The coach naturally gave them us 2, because we were bums that they thought sitting on the bench playing in the dirt. And we went on over there. We played for the championship the first year. This Little League right here organization in West Baltimore had such good players. They didn't care how good you were in the neighborhood. When you got up here, they came from all over the city. You were just one more player. So shout out to Mr. Rod. I'm going to give you a quick feel-good story before I go. A ground ball came to me. You know, kids is cruel. Runners on first and second. Ground ball came to me. I played shortstop. Ball came to me. Run on first. Came to me. I threw the first base. I should have threw the second and started a double play. And everybody said, oh, Party, come on, man. What you doing? I stopped. I had my head down. Mr. Rod called timeout and came over and looked at me, walked halfway over to the mound. You know what he said? He said, Party, let me tell you something. You're going to be the hero. Be prepared. What happened was I wasn't prepared. The ball came to me and I just reacted. That was all I did. I should have been prepared, thought about what I was going to do from the start. That's what I should have did. But next time, he said, you're going to be the hero. And the next time, guess what? I already had in my mind what to do. Ground ball came to me. I faked on the first. The guy on second went to run by, tagged him, threw the first base. Wow, the hero. Wow, double play, the hero. James Mosier was the vehicle I used, the vehicle that we use in West Baltimore to make us young people what we are. Gina Lee is talking about alma mater, James Mosier. If I'm telling you again, Gina Lee was in my kindergarten class. We've been friends for over 60 years. We were definitely in Miss Savage's kindergarten class. I want to say one thing to Gina. I don't know if she noticed the door that we come out right now. The door that we come out is now closed. They have now boarded that door up. I'm gonna show y'all somebody real quick. This gentleman. Say hi, Mike. That's what's up. Michael Singletary is one of the persons that's in charge of James Mosier Little League. Tell us something real quick, Mike, about James Mosier and what's going on and what are y'all doing today?
Oh, well, came down to support Party Marty and the new podcast. James Mosier got a program going on right now just to get the kids back out, just to get them active after COVID. Got the new school being built, hopefully from K to second grade. And once the school is up and running, we'll be able to get some kids back out on the field. 20,000 kids that came through this program. 20,000 lives saved by James.
Woo! Say it again.
20,000 youth came through James.
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! 20,000 kids have been through this program. That means 20,000 people were definitely affected and moved on. Hey, once again, this is Party Marty reporting for Gina Lee's live podcast. The name is really catchy. I loved it. Did you know? A lot of this stuff I didn't know. Thank you very much, y'all. Please keep supporting us. Gina Lee, awesome job. Back to you.
Well, thank you, Party Marty. It's been a pleasure. And thank you for joining us with your guests. And just to let you know that they did not replace the famous James Mosier name, but they did have a code name for the field, and that was the Eddie Murray Field at BGE Park. The field now features synthetic turf, baseball diamond equipped with dugouts, a backstop, and a digital scoreboard. So today, James Mosier, as they said, is the oldest continuously operating African American baseball league in the country. Okay? Now, speaking of renaming, let's fast forward to 2021. And Representative John Bullock proposed a bill which passed on July 1st, renaming James Mosier Elementary School number 144 to the Billie Holiday Elementary School. This will be the only Billie Holiday school in the country. And the bill was passed. So technically, this is the Billie Holiday Elementary School, number 144, as of July 1 this year. Well, I just want to say, and you've been hearing all this construction going on behind me. The construction started in 2019, and it's renovating our school. I came past the other night. It was absolutely gorgeous. And it's just such a treat to see our city investing in our educational system. So this school will have, let me tell you some of the features. They will have elevators. They'll have flat screens in every classroom. They'll have a data center with technology. All these new things that our children will be able to take advantage of and use to help grow them for the future. Well, I'm going to end my podcast because I've actually run overtime. And I'm a very proud graduate of James Mosier Elementary School, number 144, class of 1969. That was 52 years ago, if anybody wants to know. During the pandemic of 2020, I wrote a Facebook post that said, I think of this life as being much like the visual at the end of the movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. If you recall, periodically, the scene would show all the characters, and then one or two people would fade out and disappear. One day, we all will fade out from this life. Some suddenly, others gradually. But I pray that each of us, dear alumni of James Mosher Elementary, now the Billie Holiday Elementary number 144, will be blessed to leave a lasting legacy that is beautiful. Thank you for joining me this morning and allowing me to share just a little bit of wisdom with you. I hope you share it with someone else. Join me next Friday when I ask the question, did you know? God bless. Take care.